Good evening. The issues here are very clear. My colleagues on the Rioc Common Council, we've heard it from two of the officers of the corporation already. We'll be hearing from more. The issues are clear, and part of the problem is with the appointment of Sal Ferraro. And we wish that he would resign his appointment as a matter of principle. That being said, the problem is much deeper. Because if one non-resident can be appointed to a board, another can. And if one non-resident who has not been vetted by this community can be appointed to this board, then the entire board can. And we remember when that was the case. 3 governors have supported the effort, the demand, the yearning on this island for a say in our own futures. When we went to see George Pataki in 2004, he created a statute that required this board to be composed of a majority of island residents. And in 2007, your predecessor and your predecessor came to me. I didn't come to them. They came to me and said, would you be interested in putting on an election that will offer nominees from the community to the governor? It never would have occurred to us that such a thing would be possible. We said, yes, of course. It took us a year to invent from scratch an election, a referendum, a plebiscite. We didn't even know what to call it because it was just such an outrageous idea. We educated this community on this screwy thing we were trying to do. And we publicized the program. And we got 10 superb nominees for the job. And over 2 elections, 6 of them were appointed, and 5 of them sit here right now. A teacher, an actuary, a businesswoman, a physician, and formerly a lawyer, and also an IT engineer. Professional people capable of dealing with a $30 million a year corporation. We did our jobs. Now we're asking the state to do theirs. And so I have to come to now because for us to do any more elections, we need to know that there is the tacit approval, given that we do our jobs correctly, by offering people who are competent to do this job, that the commissioner of NYSCR and the president of Rioc will intercede for us with the governor to make our case to him. And I need to ask you, even though the tradition here is that there are no answers, I need to ask you, where do you stand? How do you feel about this? Will you support this? Because we cannot go forward unless we know that there is the support from you, because it started with you. It didn't start with us. We need to know that you are behind us, that the premise of enfranchising the residents of this community is uppermost in your minds as it is with ours, because we're the only stakeholders here. We're the only ones who are going to care about future development, Mitchell-Lama conversions and privatization, maintaining the roads, parks and recreation, transportation on the island and on and off the island, major issues that are still facing us in the future. We care because we live here, we're here 24 hours a day. I must ask you, where do you stand? Will you support us? See, this is a problem. The public sessions have gone through a whole variety of things. There used to be only evening meetings, and the public sessions followed the entire agenda of the program, followed executive session. People sat around for hours, literally hours, twiddling their thumbs to get the opportunity to speak to this board. And then there were board meetings that were in the morning and in the evening, and the public sessions were put at the beginning of the meeting, but they are utterly irrelevant if there is not a dialogue. And there is no dialogue. We can ask you questions, and we are faced with stony silence. That's not a dialogue. It's not a conversation. We need a conversation. But my question right now, which is intrinsic to where we as a community, where as the leaders of this community, we go from here, I'm asking you. Email me, telephone me, arrange a meeting with me. In some way or manner, let me know that this is uppermost on your minds too, because it's a fundamental question. Who are we? Who are we? Where do we go from here? This started with you. It started with your predecessors, and we need to know where this current commissioner, this current president, and this current governor stand. Thank you for your time.
Answer the question.